All right, guys, so thank you all for coming to Forum 82. I'm Angelo Collins. I'm your executive director. Thank you for being here. We have a wonderful community, 1,000 strong again at the forum, so we appreciate everyone being able to make it. I know some years, especially these years, it's a little trickier, but I want to thank you all for being here. I especially want to thank, and going back to the dinner format for our awards banquet dinner, we did miss a few thank yous, so I do want to thank our exceptional staff, Julie, David Renzi, Valerie, Betty, Tom, Alka, and Randy. That's the VFS staff. There's just 8 of us, and we do everything. But we have quite a few volunteers and support from the members. We appreciate that. We also want to thank Rex Alexander and John Davis and Cliff and Anita and many others for their support every year in running the forum. So we appreciate that. Of course, our student volunteers. I think we were pushing 200 students in attendance this year. We had 100 that volunteered formally, but we always appreciate having the students with us. The Bell Textron lunch went really well. There was maybe at least 100 students in the room eating lunch, and that was a great presentation that Bell was able to provide them. And of course, our chapter volunteers from the South Florida chapter, as well as the Arizona chapter, we appreciate them supporting, and there's many others. So I have the opportunity to discuss briefly a relationship that we entered with SAE International last year. We signed an MOU at the Paris Air Show in June of 2025 to enter into an agreement with SAE to collaborate on various specific topics. We understand even as nonprofits, collectively, we can do more together than we can as individuals. SAE saw the strength in the Vertical Flight Society as an exceptional organization of subject matter experts in vertical flight, and we see the strength in SAE in having an expansive network, an exceptional repository of information, Mobilis, and a great opportunity to grow with each other. And so we have some leadership from SAE here today that I'll introduce, and they are going to give a brief recap of some observations, as well as a demonstration of some of the work we're doing on the library. And then after that conversation on the library, we can open it up to some questions, and then I'll jump right into the state of VFS. I'm gonna walk you guys through some updates over the last year. All right, so I'm gonna ask Pete Doty to come up on stage. He's the executive leader he's executive VP, I believe, his official title at SAE International, and as well as their ITC group. So Pete, come on up on stage. Thank you.
All right, well, I'm really happy to be here to be talking to you all this afternoon. You know, and it shouldn't be seen as an influence on the fact that we have this agreement with VFS, but I am a former helicopter pilot. I've got a couple thousand hours in, you know, Sikorsky and Bell products. I've been an on and off member, sorry Mike and Angelo, of VFS over the years, because I am an engineer as well, but you know, it's really a great opportunity, and you know, but I really have to put it on, especially these two gentlemen, on how we brought this relationship together. Because, you know, as Angelo said, this is very much about being a partnership, figuring out what, you know, we can do in order to support industry as best as possible. So I'm going to just go through a couple slides. You know, lots of you are familiar at different levels with SAE International, or our former name, the Society of Automotive Engineers, which you may or may not know means anything that moves with an engine, because it was formed to bring the airplane engineers, the truck and tractor engineers, and the automobile engineers together. So, you know, our history, which is over 120 years old, comes with, you know, some of the same founders. I mean, our big one that we share together is Igor Sikorsky, who was a very early member of SAE International, and then in the 40s, of course, you know, recognizing that there needed to be a unique group for the vertical flight engineering and researchers, you know, helped to develop the predecessor to VFS and the American Helicopter Society. But we are also, you know, blessed by, you know, one of the first members and organizers was Orville Wright, but as you can see, you know, a number of noted aviators who have been and aviators and engineers who have been involved in the whole gambit of vertical flight. We were brought there, together, as our mission says, to advance mobility, knowledge, and solutions for the benefit of humanity, which I think, again, aligns very well with what we are doing together with VFS. So SAE International is a fairly broad organization. We are a membership organization. Some of you in the room may also be SAE members. Most people in the engineering community know us for our standards, and even beyond the engineering community, because they pick up a quart of oil and they see SAE 30 or 10W30 on there, and recognize that it comes through those technical standards. But we also are highly involved in the broad workforce development kind of effort. It starts actually at the pre-K level. And we go through pre-K through 12th grade with STEM programs that we call A World in Motion. We have collegiate programs that are, sisters to VFS's program that you guys are working on in order to develop engineers to be ready to come into your workforces. We do those in ground vehicles and aerospace, and they're not even all. We won't get in your lane, but we did do a aircraft this year that took off conventionally and then had to land and take off vertically on that. But it continues on through the professional development lane, and to support all those knowledge efforts, we have the journals, the papers, the events, all these things together so that we can kind of, across the board, build those scalable outcomes that can support industry. In workforce development in particular, and this is, again, how we're leaning into our collaboration with VFS, we do have, I described those STEM programs, but then as we move into professional development, once folks are in the workforce, whether it is through the knowledge products that my colleague Michael is going to talk about how we're going to deliver those from VFS, but also into the training that can be done as an individual or at the corporate level. And, just as VFS is, SAE is a neutral convener where you as members of industry can get together, look at those shared challenges and go, okay, let's work together this and get something that's going to work for all of us, and so that we can meet all those goals that are on the right side of the slide. So jumping in, because this isn't the big part of the talk for later, in professional development. So you guys have been doing for years outstanding presentations, and you'd record them and have them available through the VFS website and other portals. But the teams got together and said, we can take these further, and especially as we look at, whether you're calling it eVTOL or advanced air mobility, there are a number of professional development needs in order to grow the workforce or further develop the workforce that is going to support that for building and deployment at scale. So these 4 courses that will be available, I'll say publicly next month, were all things that were presented at prior forums. But now together we've worked them into a system where they can be either delivered asynchronously and online, or can be live presentation by an instructor. And luckily, I think all of them have support from and actual instruction from the original presenters and developers. So this is, again, being able to bring the great things that VFS has been providing through through some of the back shop that we're lucky enough to have, and bring those forward for industry at large. Other angle on that, as many of you know, SAE does have, we actually have more aerospace standards than we do on ground vehicle standards. And we've been very lucky to continue to grow that also in support of the vertical flight industry. We currently, across all the domains there in aerospace, have about 14,000 subject matter experts that are participating either as, developers of standards or reviewers or voting members. And that's spread across, 200 committees, which go, from the newest things on, AI on board the aircraft and our G34 committee, all the way down into, electrical wiring and all the things that we've been supporting for years. There's about 7,800 active standards, goes well up if you go to all the historical versions. But it's led by many of the same companies that you saw, or you guys probably work for, and were represented throughout the event today. But our Aerospace Council, I wanted to highlight here, this is the group that kind of oversees our overall aerospace standards effort. And the individuals, I mean, obviously you see some companies there, Bell Flight and, there's Sikorsky there, that are dedicated to the rotary wing element. But there are experts, and technical fellows that have worked on a number of vertical flight programs from those other companies, such as, Airbus. I know we have a gentleman from Airbus Helicopters who has served on the council. All our engine manufacturers have had people in there. And then you've got, newcomers such as Embraer that have brought in their EVA program, that are joining in. So we think we've got good representation, and I think one of our eventual goals is to make sure we keep that collaboration going with your committees too, so that if somebody can't participate in both, that their words are being heard in the direction that standards need to go. But we've got these are maybe just some of the newest standards that we thought you might be interested in. Of course, there are some that are very specific to rotary wing aircraft. The AS 7140, which is, about having an open data exchange for hum systems. This is actually also available in a digital model format. Is it in RecIF? SysML, sorry. Can get them in lots of them in both. But also, as we are all moving into a much more, digital engineering world with our digital twins, being able to connect everything from design through our PLM and ERM systems, we've started to build, the best practices and the standards behind that as well. So a lot of things going on here in order to support the broader industry. But what people really came here to talk about is, how we're going to get all those knowledge products that you've been building for decades into a more widely and perhaps easily accessible system through SAE's Mobilis platform, which Michael Thompson is going to talk about. This is how we connect individuals and companies into all our standards, our journals, our papers, and it has, a lot of features in there and an increasing, ability for, AI-enabled search and everything there so that, everything really can be used. Michael has to hear about this a bunch. One of my biggest pet peeves is something good that gets built and it goes stick up on the shelf. I'm sure everybody's got a binder somewhere still in their office that has that kind of material. Well, VFS's material has been accessed by, especially the strong VFS supporters, but we together think that there is an immense, group that can get to these, and we want to make sure that we can work together in the same way be able to promote future versions and future works for VFS because people know that they're going to be there available. So but I did want to hit on one other thing before I left. SAE also has some kind of adjacent things that we think that the vertical flight industry may be interested in. And these happen to be a couple, communities and events, kind of micro communities and events that we run out of SAE International. One of them is called Aviation Carbon Plus. It's about, decarbonization in aerospace. It's an annual conference that's held in the London area, has very, of course, Europe, very strong support for decarbonization, but we know this is not just a fixed wing or a stuck wing, as you guys may call it, kind of community or challenge. It is one for the vertical flight group as well. But then as, we move out of the passenger versions or vehicles to things that, are moving vertically using traditional vertical flight technologies for military uses, we also have a counter UAS hub, which is it was actually our first micro community, has a daily newsletter that comes out, but there's now 6 annual events for our counter UAS community that are across US, Europe, Middle East, and now Asia Pacific. But we've also developed a micro community in associated conferences on loitering munitions, which because, we've all seen in first the Ukraine conflict and now back in the Persian Gulf and with Iran, these kind of things are taking on even greater area. So we just wanted to highlight those. But with all that, I'm going to pass this off to my colleague, Michael Thompson. I apologize. I have got to go run. My daughter's graduating from college, so I have to go get on an airplane and make sure I'm back. So thank you very much, and I hope you guys have a great discussion. All right.